Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this. We're going to start off on the ribbon here, BCH. I think it's a very positive looking ribbon, right? We can see that the last time, first off, we had this bullish cross right here. You were up above it, you pulled back, you found your low right below the ribbon there, and then you started moving up again, getting some separation in the ribbon here, right? You pulled back, you found a low, your ribbon condensed, you had a little bit of tightening there, you found your low below the ribbon, and like, you know, kind of like a rubber band pulling down. Once that let go, you expanded upwards, right? And continue to do so for quite some time. Now we're back below the ribbon again, similar to this over here, right? We're on the daily chart, contracting the ribbon again below the ribbon here. Generally speaking, if you were to find resistance, if you were to go lower, what you would see is you would come up to the ribbon, find resistance, reject. If you were to go higher, what you would see is basically kind of like what you saw last time, just a slingshot propelling you all the way up and out of here, right? I wonder if I can find an example of what I'm trying to talk about with the upside, reversing around, right? Like this. Okay, here you're up, you come in, you're below the ribbon here, your ribbon is contracting, you can see it, but what you did was you moved up into the ribbon, rejected the yellow line, and then moved down, giving that ribbon a cross, rejecting it, and then moving down, right? Now your ribbon's flipped and you're moving up here, and now instead of finding support below the ribbon to slingshot up, now you're finding resistance above the ribbon to slingshot down, right? Because it's flipping bearish. I hope that made sense what I just did there. Essentially just showing that if you reject when you're below the ribbon, that's how you know that you're probably going to anticipate a bearish cross. So to avoid that here, and I think we will avoid that, to avoid that here, what we need not do is move up to 500 and then pull back from there dramatically. If we moved up to 500 and then like if today or tomorrow or any day had to move up here and then we closed below like 475, 480, I'd be scared. I'd be very scared for Bitcoin Cash, you guys. That wouldn't be good. If we close any given day above 500 bucks, it's time to celebrate, because then we've gone below the ribbon to cool off, right? Just like last time, we contracted the ribbon to add tension, add pressure, to load up that slingshot, and then once we close above the 500, we release that pressure. And we get that immense growth in a very short amount of time, right? And I think we're going to get that soon. Here's something that I thought was interesting. I don't know how real this is. I think that this might just be something we can chalk up to a coincidence, but I thought this was interesting. I'm looking at the 3-day chart here, and you can see the 3-day chart, the green line, the 123. What I think is interesting about the 3-day chart, right? On a daily aspect, it's 123 days. On the 3-day chart, it's 366 days, which is actually a full year, right? So it's like you've got an average of a year on this trend line based on the 123. On a daily perspective, it's like a third of a year. That's why I like the 123 on a daily, on a 3-day, on a weekly. 123 is even close. That's like 2.5 years, right? Kind of around there. Anyways, 3 days. I thought it was interesting that it's bouncing off of this line. That's not the coincidence. The coincidence is that this day here, or this 3-day period, was on the 20th of December 2024, an election year. Okay, 2024, bouncing off of this line, having a positive reaction after dropping quite a ways, right? I'm going to measure too, just for fun. High to low, 39%. I didn't measure it last time, so I'm just going to see. But look at this. Here, December 23rd, okay, we're on December 20th. It's pretty close, right? Within a 3-day range, pretty close. December 23rd, you pulled back. How much did you pull back here from a high to a low? Probably not 39% like you did last time, but 29%. Hey, it's pretty close, but you bounced, and look at what happened there. You went on a very nice run from there, from your low point to your high point. You saw a move up overall. That was, sorry, that's not accurate. It's not 149. 136 in the course of, from December 23rd to January 13th. So in like less than a month's time. 136% in less than a month's time. That put Bitcoin Cash all the way up at $1,000, which we are expecting it to be above $1,000 in about a month's time from now. So to be at $1,000 in less than a month's time makes sense to me, man. But I just thought that was interesting. Again, not anything to weigh off of. We're comparing it because it's somewhat comparable, but I don't think this bounce, even though it's nice bouncing off the 123, it's very clear you don't care about the 3-day 123. A little bit of resistance there, sure, but I think it's clear that you really don't care about it. So it's just a coincidence, I think, but still nice. I do expect that we're going to have some nice price action to follow. I want to move into the daily time frame. I just wanted to look at the 3-day real quick just to see if there's any similarities. I mean, back here, sorry. You were finding support all this time right here. If we were to draw a straight line right here, all the way over here, you're basically finding support at the same area now. So that's nice, an area of support that you're familiar with. Hopefully we can get into the overbought zone instead of rejecting it like we did here, right? Getting something, probably a reading that's above 65 would be compelling enough to believe that we are going to see a breakaway of this range. And I think that we will. Just personally, I'm expecting that, but I'm going to look at the daily time frame. We'll look at the 4-hour time frame and wrap this bad boy up. And actually, hold on. I want to look at the weekly real quick too, or the 3-day maybe. 3-day looks bullish as hell actually on this, you guys. Weekly, monthly, right? Bullish. It's gonna be such a bullish end to this month, man. I can't wait. 8 days left. This is the most exciting month for Bitcoin Cash to close. I'm gonna move this RSI a little bit down here. On a daily perspective, your RSI, you're all the way down at the oversold zone. The last time you were oversold was all the way back here. You saw some nice growth in a very short amount of time, right? Definitely at the bottom of your move down, right after an immaculate move down. This time, you rejected your 123 and moved all the way down to get your low in the RSI. This time, you moved all the way down and found support on your 123 instead of rejecting it. Sloped downwards here on the 123, sloped upwards now, finding support, finding resistance. I would assume that the aftermath of this move in the RSI would be lesser than this move because of the more bullish circumstances that we have here, right? This was kind of, it was at the bottom of this move, so it's at the turning of the tide, where we're at the bottom of this full stride of a move, kind of. It's different perspective. So I would expect a more bullish outbringing of this low here. We are at the bottom, looking to make our way all the way up to the overbought zone. We got a lot of room to grow. We're not even close to being overheated, so we definitely can move up a lot without extending ourselves too much. If we take this relative high to the relative low into consideration and base our next move off of this fib, being that it is a small fib, we look at the weekly time frame, right? Like, that's a pretty small fib, I think. I think that it is safe to consider, especially when we go into like a month's time frame of growth from here, probably by the inauguration on January 20th, that this thing tops off or finds like a momentary high, kind of like it did here at the beginning of this month, right? And again, I'm not assuming it's going to find a high like this in January. I don't think it's going to be like this. Something like this, yeah, something like that in January, something like what we just had, but a little bit longer, I think, in time, maybe the same overall in size, but in January, that's what I'm expecting. And I would expect we don't stop in the primary target zone. I would expect we do stop in the secondary target zone, which is anything from the 2618 to the 1886. It is worth mentioning sometimes in this secondary target zone, you do overshoot and you hit that 2886, which is all the way up at 1600, a very possible area we could hit. If we were to hit the 1414 of the primary zone, we're breaking out of this high to low. We're breaking out of this fib structure as well, which is again why I wouldn't consider the primary zone of this fib, because once you break 785, really once you break above the 1272, even the very first target in the primary zone, you're likely going to go to the first target of this primary zone. So I don't think it's worth talking about there, therefore acknowledging the secondary zone, which at a minimum would be at about 1K, okay, to potentially, and then again, I wouldn't think that you stop here, because you stop here, you're breaking above this 1618 right here. That would mean your minimum target would be here. But if you're going there, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't at least see $1,000. Okay, personally, and we can keep going all the way up, right? Why don't you see this? Why don't you go all the way up to 100K? I can already hear some jokes being made in the comments there. I can hear you, you jackals. But no, I really do think that 1200 to 1400 is a very suitable area by the end of January to assume, with a very realistic potential of seeing 1629 to like $1,900 by the end of January as well. I think that's the next move that we have coming in. There's nothing really too new and exciting to go off of, right? I think that it's just we're waiting for the move to happen. We've been moving sideways for the past week now. On a 4-hour basis, it does seem like our 4-hour RSI is turning the curve a little bit. It's looking to be bullishly postured. I like this area of support that we found from a low to a high. I mean, just look at how much more bullish right now the Bitcoin Cash chart looks than the BTC chart does. Look at this on a 4-hour perspective. We zoom it in a little bit. Zoom, zoom, zoom. All right, look at that. Looks like a double bottom look, and that's fine. That's bullish too. It's still a higher low, right? But look at just how much more bullish this looks right here. Bouncing off, it's 382. The fact that you're above the 236 finding support, there's no doubt in my head, guys. Bitcoin Cash is soon to move up. I really do expect, and I'm going to end the video with this. All right, one last shout out to the Dragon Riders, guys. I really do expect that this next month is going to validate the Bitcoin Cash community. I really think it is. I think this next month, and not just this next month, really it's this cycle, the remainder of this cycle. But I think this next month is going to do something. It's going to open a lot of eyes. It's going to open doors, or maybe doors are being opened for Bitcoin Cash that are allowing it to go this high. I don't know, man. There's a lot of exciting stuff going on. I know I talk about the TA. I know I talk about the technical analysis, but I want to give a shout out real quick before I end the video to the Bitcoin Cash podcast. Go to YouTube here. I talk about the price stuff, right? I talk about where it's going to go, when it's going to take there, or how long it's going to take to get there. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. It's inevitable, right? But we get our targets. We get an idea of what we're going to do, okay? The Bitcoin Cash podcast, if I can, where are you at? Why aren't you up here? I look you guys up on my other account. That's why I normally watch on my other account. Bitcoin Cash podcast. There we go. These guys, they talk about all things fundamental with Bitcoin Cash. And you guys, there's a lot of exciting things that are coming into play, like cash tokens, Selene, all kinds of stuff. There's I watched that recently, but let's see, which video was it that I just watched recently that I really liked? I mean, they're all good. You go ahead and check any of them out, right? They're a little bit above me at times. There's some things that these guys talk about in these videos that I just roll with and I don't understand, but I try to, and that's okay. But I really do. I mean it. I try to understand these videos because this is some sophisticated stuff, and this will make your knowledge of Bitcoin Cash better overall, what they talk about in these videos. It might have been this one. No, not a month ago. 11 days ago. It seems, I thought it was earlier. I thought I watched a video that maybe it was a live stream or more recent, not earlier, more recent. No, I don't know. Was it this one? It was this one. Okay, 2 days ago. Yeah, the Bitcoin Cash. It was. Oh, I watched it. Did I watch it live? I didn't think I watched it live. This was a good stream, man. This is a really good stream. I like both these guys in this video, and of course, Jeremy and Jet are killing it as well. I can't remember the top guy's name. I feel bad. I know Callisti, but I should know this guy's name too. But they're very smart people. I think anybody and everybody, if you like Bitcoin Cash, you should watch that video for sure. It's on their lives. They don't have the video put out for it yet, but anything and everything that they put out, man, it's all about the fundamentals of Bitcoin Cash. It's all stuff that's relative to the crypto community and the crypto ecosystem. And I talk about the price stuff, but they do a very good job at doing an in-depth analysis on the fundamental side. And what they talk about, the things that excite them are what I think is going to allow Bitcoin Cash to bust through this move as explosively as I think it's going to be. It's what's going to allow Bitcoin Cash to hit that 20K, 13K target by the end of this cycle, right? All the stuff that you could learn from watching these guys. So one last shout out to Jeremy and Jet, the Bitcoin Cash podcast. These guys are great, man. I've been watching them for years. They definitely deserve more than 2,500 subscribers, man. I know there's more than that in the Bitcoin Cash community. So get over there and show them some love, guys. I got nothing else to say. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.